Hello, everyone. I'm Dan.
And I'm Riley.
And welcome to the next episode of That One Podcast.
Today, we are excited to be joined by Amanda Baird, who is a small business owner in Tipton. She has several businesses, which I learned more about during our conversation with her. So we talk about the Pumpkin Patch, East Street Provisions, and Groomsville Popcorn. So it's a really nice insight into what it's like to run multiple businesses in Tipton, Indiana.
All right, let's get into the next episode and see what Amanda has to say.
All right, welcome on, Amanda. Thank you for joining me today. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Good. So really excited because I actually just learned, I thought we were talking about two businesses that you run, but I found out that there's a third. So it's going to be a great conversation talking about not only East Street Provisions and the Pumpkin Patch, but also Groomsville Popcorn, which was the starting point for all of this, correct?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, so
it's going to be 8 years.
Wow. So let's go ahead and jump into Groomsville first because I'm interested now because I'm going to be learning about it as we sit here and talk. So how did that come to be? And, it's been 8 years, so obviously it's been very successful and you're still going strong. So how did Groomsville come to be?
Yeah, so 8 years ago now, my husband and I, he was just graduating from Purdue, and we were looking for how he could be full-time. So as he was going back to the farm, his family obviously farms, there's not a lot of income to have another full-time person there. And so we were looking at something different. His family grows sweet corn, and so we've always been kind of in the corn industry, I guess, so to say. And with popcorn, the great thing is you could do it year round. Mm-hmm. So, our anniversary is tomorrow, 8 years.
Oh, and congrats.
Thank you. You were this new couple, barely 23 years old. And so you're going to get freshly married and you're starting a business and a company. And that's kind of scary, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so that's how it happened and it evolved. And we've been going strong ever since and selling popcorn year round.
Wow, that's awesome. So you came up with the idea. How did you, what did your launch look like? Fresh out of college,
Yes.
Freshly married, new couple. Like, how do you go about that launch and starting something from scratch?
So we had a lot of family help as far as his family have been doing farmers markets with sweet corn for probably about, many, many, many years.
Yeah.
He grew up in that realm. Even before we started the Groomsville Popcorn, I was an employee at the farmers market bagging sweet corn. So our real launch was actually doing farmers markets.
Okay.
So because the farmers markets knew us, Carmel Farmers Market took a chance on us because they knew Jacob and Amanda Baird, and we started there as the season. And so we were able to launch popcorn at that farmers market. And then now we do about 8 different farmers markets throughout the week and 4 on Saturday.
Holy cow. That's a lot.
It is a lot of markets. I love farmers markets. They're so fun.
Nice. And so do you mainly rely on farmers markets now? Where else are you selling online, in store somewhere, or how does that work now 8 years into it?
Yeah, so it looks a lot different than year one on just doing farmers markets. And now we are able to sell at East Street Provisions, so people can come in when we're open and get popcorn. We also we have hit into the wholesale space. So, I think Needlers, they have our products. A lot of specialty boutique stores that sell gifts and local products like Rachel's Taste of Indiana. I believe that's a little bit north. Like they'll have our popcorn.
Okay.
As we get into the fall season, a lot of pumpkin patches will carry our product in their farm stores and like apple orchards. So those kind of things.
Yeah. So how do you go about making those connections to get into different boutique stores or to get into the pumpkin patches and things like that? How do you go about that?
Yeah, 2 ways. When we decided that we wanted to do wholesale, because that's a whole different bag, if you're familiar with our product, it is a retail bag that we use.
Yeah.
So first was designing the bag, getting what we wanted the product to look like, talking to advisors, or I would say because we're in the farmers markets, we have a lot of other small business friends that are in a food product specifically.
Yeah.
And we were able to ask them how they got into stores, and they got us connected with like having a distributor. So now we use one distributor that they'll come and pick up an order at East Street, right? And then they're the ones kind of branching it out. Like I never personally had the connection with Rachel. I just know because people have told me my product is in their store.
Yeah.
But like we personally just got connected through a friend about an apple orchard in like Bloomington. And so they personally reached out to me, and I was able to set up that order for them.
So it's a little both.
It is.
Yeah. Because that's a whole different world of, instead of just selling at East Street or at Farmers Market, but now it's like, I don't want to say it feels real, but it's like, holy cow, this is like how big businesses do it. Like getting into distributors and getting into all these different stores. It's like, wow, it's branching out beyond just our local small company. So it's really cool and interesting for anybody who's trying to start a business and figure out how to do that. So what products, obviously popcorn, but different variations of popcorn, what's the current lineup look like?
Yeah. So first, we do grow all of our own popcorn.
Okay.
So I don't think I mentioned that.
Yeah.
But that is one thing that makes us different and unique. A lot of popcorn companies, especially in Indiana, don't, because they're like, well, I can already get Indiana popcorn. We're like, no, we want to make sure we're controlling the quality and we're controlling our costs.
Yeah.
So we grow our own popcorn.
Nice.
And then we pop it up at our kitchen, and we have kettle corn, of course. That's like the number one staple. Everyone loves kettle corn.
Yeah.
Then we have what we call is like our version of almost like a skinny pop. So we pop it in coconut oil and sea salt. So it's called original sea salt popcorn. We have expanded into white cheddar, spicy white cheddar. We have a buffalo popcorn, caramel corn. We have the mix, and that's like the Chicago mix almost, but the cheddar and caramel corn. During the winter season, we sometimes pull out a movie theater popcorn that we do a little bit more of seasonal. A lot of options.
Yeah. What's been the craziest idea for a popcorn, whether it's actually a product you've launched or just an idea that you explored and then it's like, okay, maybe this is too crazy of an idea? What's kind of one of the wilder popcorn ideas? Because I'm sure you could come up with endless if you like, let's throw this thing on it. Does it actually work? Who knows? But let's try it.
Yeah, we tried to do like a maple flavor popcorn before, and it really did not work because we couldn't find a way to get the maple to like caramelize well, and it was making it really soggy, and no one wants soggy popcorn.
No, that does not sound good at all.
And then the other thing, which I know a lot of people do it, and it's just really time consuming. So not that it's crazy, but doing like a chocolate covered popcorn or like a chocolate drizzle popcorn. Yeah. It's just when you have to mass produce popcorn and then you have to like already pop it and then go back in and add chocolate like on top of it or something.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so much work and people loved it, but I couldn't find that's as a business owner, right? Like you have to find how do you make a good product that's also cost efficient for us so that we also don't have to charge the end consumer $20.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, if you want it, we're going to have to
it was
raise
too
the prices
much
on
labor.
just the chocolate because money is time. Like that's the thing. And if it takes a lot more time to do it, then either you have to make the decision not to do it or you have to make the decision to raise prices, and that's never fun. So awesome. Well, transitioning there. So Groomsville up and running. It's great. What led to branching out into other businesses? If we want to start with East Street or the Pumpkin Patch, which one came first after Groomsville?
Yeah. So we have Groomsville, and then we have the Pumpkin Patch.
Okay.
So again, freshly married, we were living in Carmel at the time because I had a job that was closer to Carmel, but we really wanted to be back in Tipton County where my husband grew up. His family's all here, where our farm is. Yeah. And we were looking for some place to purchase. And that's how we purchased this home, that the previous sellers had pumpkins on site and they were growing pumpkins.
Okay.
Now, they did not have activities.
Yeah.
That is something we added. They were just, you could come, pick your pumpkin in their patch, or they had already harvested pumpkins that you could just choose from.
Okay.
And so I want to say about 7 years ago is when East Union Farms Pumpkin Patch began for us, and we're the ones growing them now and trying to figure that out.
Mm-hmm. So did you buy the house with the intentions, or I guess, were you, when you were looking to buy, were you like, we want to start a pumpkin patch, or we want to continue this, or did it just like you fell in love with the house and the pumpkin patch just came with it? How did that come about?
It was just a unique opportunity of the house itself. We liked the house. It had some acres on it. We were really excited about being able to purchase this house. And then we're young entrepreneurs that already have a popcorn business. The thought of then growing pumpkins, bring it on.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And the sellers, who we didn't really have a relationship with at the time, like we knew them, we knew their kids, similar in age, of course, but they wanted the pumpkin patch to go on. They had built up a client base. I mean, they had been doing this for, I think, over 15 years. I don't want to misspeak, but a long time, right?
Yeah.
And they wanted to see that go on. And now, even through the past 7 years, they have helped us. They taught us how to grow pumpkins, what that looks like. And now we're so close to them. They're almost like second parents to us.
That's
and
awesome.
to Finley, our son, as well.
Dang, that's awesome. So what is it like running a pumpkin patch out of your house, whether it's actually ran out of the house or not, but it's on your property? What does that look like? Especially, I'm assuming you're about to be in full swing for the season if you're not already. Yep. Yeah. So what does the day-to-day look like for you and your husband running the pumpkin patch?
Right. So we have, after this, I'm going home and I'm getting the stuff set up. We are very much still in the setup phase. Mm-hmm. Now, opening day is the last Saturday in September. I think that's the 27th without having a calendar in front of me.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
And on opening day, I'll be there. I'm there every day that it's open. I'm kind of the go-between person, make sure that the inside where they're selling pumpkins is going well, make sure the ticket booth is running smoothly, and then make sure all of the activities around the farm. When you're inviting the public to your space, you just have to make sure that everything is safe, well organized, and that your employees are trained well. Yeah. And thankfully, Jacob is able to fix all the broken things. A working farm, everything breaks. And so he's like, boom, 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 in there. And then we're closed Monday through Wednesday. And so those days are more of a reset day for us. So we're resetting. We have the patch still where you can go out and pick a pumpkin, but we've gotten to a point where not everyone actually wants to go to a pumpkin field and pick their pumpkin. They'd rather just go to an area where you already have pumpkins sitting out and pick their pumpkin. Yeah. That's fine for them too. Yeah. But we have to harvest those pumpkins. We have to make sure that we're ordering supplies. I have to do the schedule still and payroll. Yeah. So those are kind of all the day-to-day things on the patch itself.
That's awesome. So you mentioned the events at the pumpkin patch. What activities or events do you do out? What do you do along with obviously selling the pumpkins? What else happens out there?
Right. So we're an admission-based farm. If you want to do activities, it's $9 per person. 2 and under is free. We have over about 25 different activities that we have built up over the years. So we have a corn maze. Okay. We have a tennis ball launcher. We have a corn pit that kids love to play in because it's like this big sandbox. We have zip lines. Dang. We have like a trike track where you race little tricycles around this big area. We have a low ropes course, which is a little bit unique. Are you familiar with the low ropes course?
Is it where you're harnessed in and then you walk across?
So that would be a high ropes course. So absolutely. So think of, that's why the low is in there. So you don't need a harness, but you are going from these different, almost like little pergolas, and there's a little obstacle in between it. So one might be a rock wall that you have to climb across. The other is like this net tunnel. We also have like a drawbridge thing, or a log that you have to try to like walk across and not fall off. And that was a really unique activity that we put in about 2 years ago, and that seems to be one of the top hit activities.
So what was the inspiration? You buy the house, you inherit the pumpkin patch. What was the inspiration of introducing the activities or the thought process behind that?
Yeah, we started looking around at, any business, kind of doing that needs assessment almost. And we're like, okay, so people in Tipton are already coming to us because they want a pumpkin.
Yeah.
Where's the closest pumpkin patch to them, and what does that look like? And so we were looking at other farms. We're like, oh, like they have activities. I wonder what this activity game is all about, and what activities are people paying to get into? And after going and visiting some pumpkin patches, it's like there is not anything within it would be over 30 minutes for someone to, even in the city of Tipton, to get to a pumpkin patch, if not a further drive, just depending on where they're going.
Yeah.
We're like, we already grow pumpkins. We already have a barn. We already have Jacob who can build things and me who can market things. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And we started slowly. So we only had maybe 2 activities in a corn maze the first year. And then we really ramped up year after year to now being at a place where we have 25 activities.
Dang. So is the corn maze, is that, I guess, trying to connect with Groomsville here, is the corn that's in the corn maze, is that corn that's going to be popcorn down the road? Like, is that the same field? Do you know?
It's not.
Okay.
So that's just traditional field corn that we grow for the corn maze. Now, the idea of doing a popcorn maze is very intriguing, right? Like what you're saying. I love that. I'm not sure if it would work. Popcorn tends to fall over easier. Like the stand on it itself is not as strong in essence.
Interesting.
So we've had a lot of times where we've had popcorn fields kind of blow over. And I would get maybe a little too worried of strong winds coming in right before, and then now we don't have a corn maze.
You don't have a maze at all.
Or
it's just
even part of the maze once you walk in there is now like blown over. That's no fun.
Yeah. Or blown over, and now the maze, there's actual no way to get out because the corn.
Yeah, they're just like going through the side
endlessly
down
lost
the drive.
in this corn maze now. No, that's interesting. I don't know if people know much about corn and how different it can be, but the difference between field corn and popcorn, like it's not.
Yeah, and sweet corn, they're all different varieties of corn.
Yeah, my grandpa's a farmer, so I've kind of learned some stuff. But then it's like, even right now, you drive. What's the difference between the corn that they cut off the top?
Oh, like
Is that-
detasseling.
Yeah.
So that's seed corn.
That's the seed corn. Okay. I always got them confused.
That was my first job, detasseling. I feel like most of Tipton County might have
Probably did it
had
at one
that
time.
as their first job.
Yeah. No, that's awesome to see how, I think having the popcorn and the pumpkin patch are two very like unique businesses, but they combine to I'm assuming you sell the popcorn out at the pumpkin patch too. Yeah. Makes perfect sense there. Okay, so you have 2 businesses now. You're not busy at all whatsoever.
Nope.
What was the inspiration behind starting the 3rd business?
Yeah, they all flow, right? It's like, okay, we needed a house, so we bought a pumpkin farm.
Yep.
And then we developed that. Okay, so then this 3rd step with East Street Provisions being, okay, we have currently outgrown our popcorn kitchen. Yay us.
Yeah.
Good problem to have, but we need something bigger. So we started looking at businesses in downtown Tipton to buy. I guess buildings more, not a business, but a building to buy. And the ones kind of on the actual main strip were a little bit smaller than what we were needing for a popcorn kitchen.
Yeah.
So then we found the old firehouse on East Street.
Yeah.
And we purchased that building, but that building was almost too big. And so we're like, what can we put on the other 2/3 of the building?
Yeah.
So if you go into East Street now, you have a third of it. That's the popcorn kitchen that no one really sees. That's the end of the back of the house. And then we have the other 2/3 that have become East Street Provisions.
Yeah.
We were already doing popcorn. We were already doing donuts because we would have donuts at the pumpkin patch, apple cider donuts.
Yeah.
We were already doing some other food realm and food things in the festival space. So we had some equipment. So that's where the idea framed around, okay, let's do a cafe. Let's do a community gathering space.
Yeah.
East Street in March in March will be going on 4 years. And so if we look back at Tipton 4 years ago, we did not have a lot of the businesses that we do now, which I love and support. So that's even more of a needs assessment for the community. We need a place where people can come in for breakfast. They could come in, get a really good sit down coffee, latte, donut, and then transfer into having salads and paninis and soups that are focused on using local ingredients when we can.
Yeah. That's awesome. So what is it like now on the day-to-day? You have 3 businesses. How do you balance your time between them? Obviously, you've set up successful processes to manage it all, but like, what does that look like for somebody like me? I have my own business, and then doing this for Tipton One, it's like, okay, that's a lot. I couldn't imagine doing a 3rd thing on top of this. I mean, I guess I coach pickleball, but that's a very small thing. I don't have to like worry about payroll and scheduling and all that stuff. But like, how do you manage all that on a day-to-day basis?
You start by having a really, really good team. And I'm sure that in your digital space, you have a really good team and employees. And it just looks like that, but it looks like that for all of the businesses.
Yeah.
And so East Street Provisions has a wonderful, great manager who is able to handle those tasks where my time and energy doesn't have to go on my day-to-day as much to East Street as it did when we first opened 2 years ago. I was in East Street every single day. I was opening, closing, all of those things.
Yeah.
That was stressful. But now we get to a point where it's like, okay, we can breathe. I can breathe. And I have this wonderful manager.
Yeah.
And it's the same way with Groomsville Popcorn too. I mean, obviously Jacob leads the day-to-day on production of Groomsville Popcorn. I help more at farmers markets and staffing, and then going into the pumpkin patch. Because we've been doing it so long, we have employees that are able to train the other employees and the new employees that are coming in. And so it does, when you just say it, it looks like overwhelming and so big, but you just break it down piece by piece and day by day, and then it doesn't feel as overwhelming.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what is going back to Groomsville and the pumpkin patch, what is the season look like for you in terms of growing the product, both the pumpkin side of thing and the popcorn side of things?
Yes.
Because obviously popcorn, you sell it year round, but you don't, like, what is the growing season for popcorn?
So growing season is, I think we planted in May this year.
Okay.
For popcorn. I'm pretty sure it was May. And then he'll start harvesting, Jacob doesn't really harvest it anymore. We can hire that out. So they'll harvest probably sometime in October, and then Jacob will dry it down, clean it, package it, all of those things that are needed to be done. Pumpkins, we planted pumpkins in June.
Oh, wow.
And
much shorter.
Yeah, June. Pumpkins are about a 90 to 120 day, depending on what variety you get.
Okay.
But in June, we had like the most wet June ever.
Yeah.
We had to replant this time. Our field got flooded out 3 times.
Oh, gosh.
That has never happened to us. There's a first for everything. And this was the first year for that.
Wow. That is tough.
I feel like the last time we planted pumpkins, it was almost July at this point.
Wow.
But the pumpkins are ready. It's okay.
Yeah.
They're good. They're ready to go. We're going to start harvesting pumpkins this week, actually. Okay. So we'll start harvesting some of those for the ones that we put up by the barn.
Yeah. So going back to East Street, is there a favorite menu item? People love East Street. So, is there a hidden gem kind of menu item there for you? Or what's your favorite item that you get personally?
Oh, okay. Yeah. My favorite item, which is not on the menu right now. So if you're
Perks
watching
of owning the business, you get to make your own stuff. Yeah.
So we just came out with a coffee, a new latte, and it has salted caramel and marshmallow. So we just came up with this flavor combo. I haven't put it on the menu yet. One of our employees actually thought of this, and it's so good. I drink it every day. But I don't know have a name for it. And we haven't thought of a name like salted caramel, marshmallow. What? I like it a latte. Maybe that could be the name of it. Yeah. But because we don't have a name, we haven't officially put it on there yet. But if you come in and ask for it, we'll definitely make it for you.
Or if you're watching, drop a comment on the video and drop some name suggestions.
Help us name it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. to say you helped name a coffee item at the East Street Provisions would be pretty cool. So what's been the most rewarding part of your now 3 businesses in? Kind of what's been the most rewarding part about each individual one, or just as a whole for you? Because like for me, a lot of it's, my freedom and flexibility. That's what I value over anything else. So like that's the most rewarding part, is being able to set my own schedule and take days off if I want, and not being tied down to a boss or whatever. But like, what for you personally, what's been the most rewarding part of starting 3 businesses and growing over the past 8 to 10 years?
I think just looking at all of them and seeing the growth of where we came from, and how it's evolved is very rewarding. I have an educational background. I used to work for Purdue Extension in the teaching realm.
Yeah.
And so with that, I've been able to use my business as almost a platform of employees that work for me, being able to help engage them and help like make them feel like they're part of this business, but also training them up, because I know that they're not going to stay at East Street forever, or they might not stay at Groomsville Popcorn forever. So how can I help give them the skills set that they need so they can go out into the workforce or go off to college and feel like they're well prepared? They've done this before. We had an employee in East Street, and she wanted to start her own coffee shop. And I'm like, that's great. I love that for you. How can I help you do that? I want you to be able to do that. And so I'm trying to teach her how to look at her cost of goods sold, how to write a business plan. How would she even go about getting funding through a bank to be able to do that? Yeah. So I think it is very rewarding for me to be able to help my employees in that way and empower them. Yeah.
It's not something, at least when I was in school, that you really can learn without getting experience. And especially working with younger high school students, like being able to get that firsthand experience before you even go off to college is incredible, because frankly, I didn't know what I wanted to officially do when I went to college, but being able to get hands-on experience beforehand, and then being able to maybe refine that in college, or not even go to, like, you don't have to go to college to start a business.
No,
so
not at all.
Getting that experience is incredible.
It's just something that's really needed. And I definitely bounced that right back, because we did not have any of this when we were starting up our business. And it was so much needed. Like, I don't really know how to do this or do this. Thankfully, when we were at Purdue, they had business plan competitions. And Jacob and I always kind of knew, like, we'll probably want to start something, especially with his knowing that he's not going to be able to always be full-time on the farm. What are you going to do? And so we jumped into the business center at Purdue, and we went through business plan competitions, or wrote business plans, then went in front of like investors. It was basically a mini Shark Tank, but for the college. And I'm glad I got that experience, but not everyone gets that experience, which is why I try to help them.
Yeah. I want to say there was something in Tipton like that recently.
Oh, fun.
I'm drawing a blank, but I think it would be a cool thing that, we get a few business owners together and do this. I don't know necessarily about providing funding to a high schooler necessarily, but at least getting them thinking about these types of things, because Tipton is very entrepreneurial
it is.
Overall. So I'm sure there are kids that have already thought about that, and whether it's high school seniors or even college students that over the summer come back and do this type of contest like what you did at Purdue. I think it'd be a really cool idea to do in Tipton.
I think there could be a space for it for sure.
Yeah. Maybe we should work that out. But speaking about just Tipton in general, how supportive has the community been to you over the past 8 years, launching 3 separate businesses? Yeah,
Tipton is so great. When we had the pumpkin patch, there was already some kind of customer base set up. And then we gained also new customer base from Tipton and people that heard about us. And even, it's only been maybe 6-7 years at the pumpkin patch, but I have parents that will still come, and they have photos in front of the green wagon, which is kind of a staple photo out there of them holding their newborn, and then now their 6-year-old.
Wow.
And that is so like heartwarming and unique to be able to see the growth of these kids and get to know them, right?
Yeah.
And then I've now hired some of these kids,
Wow.
I mean older ones, but that have been coming to the pumpkin patch every year, and now they get to work at the pumpkin patch for this season.
Yeah.
So it's just so much support within the community. Before we opened East Street Provisions, I was so scared though, because this is the first time where it was really, really new to us on the food side. It was not farming. It's not like I can't mess up your pumpkin order, right? But I could mess up your sandwich, or you could tell me that you hate the sandwich or you hate the coffee. And so I was like internally panicking.
Yeah.
Like,
You open yourself up to a lot of
people.
criticism. Yeah.
You know, like I know these people. I know Dan. I know Riley. Like, I'm going to see them every day if I mess up their sandwich. And what if they hate me? All those negativity and thoughts were just getting in my head.
Yeah.
And then we had our soft opening and everyone was like wrapped around the building. And everything that came was just so encouraging and so positive, and has always continued to be positive, which is why I love Tipton so much and having a business in Tipton.
Yeah.
It's like they completely washed away any fear that I had and now are so supportive. And we're always trying to listen to the community too and evolve. Like before when we first opened, we didn't even really maybe consider ourselves a coffee shop. I just hadn't had an espresso machine, and I love coffee, so I was like, well, people love it too.
Yeah.
But now we're hearing like that there was such a need for it, so where we kind of adapted more into that. We have bagels now that we hadn't had before, so people can come in and get a bagel. They can come in and get a breakfast sandwich with donuts. We just bought a commercial double stack oven, and that will allow us to do some baked goods. I'm not saying I'm going to be a bakery, but you know, we are always listening to what our community wants and trying to give back to them that too. So I'm sure there's more things to come.
Yeah, that's awesome. What do you hope for? So we talked a lot about business here on Tipton One, or that one podcast. And what do you hope for the future of small business in Tipton, right? There's a lot of small businesses, and it's hard to keep a small business running sometimes. So what is your hope, whether for the wider small business community in Tipton moving forward?
Yeah, I just really hope that we can always see ourselves as a strong connecting unit so that we all swim together. Yeah. And I don't want to see anyone go down. I want to help everyone, and I want us to help each other too. And I wish all the small businesses just such success in the new businesses coming in. And I know that even the Tipton Chamber of Commerce has been doing some things like the Business Connect, and even myself, I need to get into those more, and just encouraging all of us to do that, and the Coffee Connects, and get to know each other. Now on year 3 of East Street, I've been able to learn more about business owners and build connections, and then that's business and business, right? Like, oh yeah, I just met you. Well, I need that. Like I'm just talking to you like, hey, I might need some social media branding things. And so we're not competing with each other by any means. We're only building each other stronger and making Tipton a better place to live, which is what we all want.
Yeah. Because if Tipton's a better place to live, that means more people will be coming into the stores. More people will want to move here and come to the pumpkin patch and do all that stuff. So it kind of all connects back to the business there. But it is interesting. Like, you know, we were talking before this, we both went to the same networking event, didn't even know it. But like, the chamber is doing their, I think it's like once a month or once every other month, like the coffee and connect and the connector and things like that. But there's not a, you know, like I go to a weekly networking meeting in Fishers, but there's so many small business owners in Tipton that I feel like we could do something on a more regular basis, you know, once a week, once every other week or something like that, to try and, again, just connect, because it's like, even, you know, I've known about East Street Provisions, but then I just found out today about the 2 other businesses. So it's like, you know, just even making those connections and having coffee and talking for an hour once a week or once every other week can really just help us out, all of us out in the long run.
Yeah, and you always learn something. Like
Yeah.
I just learned what services you can provide to me,
Yeah.
and you just learned about a couple of my businesses.
Yeah.
So there's just always ways to connect and be that community too. And we're still a community of small business owners.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we'll wrap up with a couple of quick hitter questions here. What's your pumpkin patch must have, whether it's favorite activity or favorite photo opportunity? What's your go-to that people need to do when visiting the pumpkin patch?
Okay, you have to go on the low ropes course. You have to use the apple cannon, apple blaster. It's really fun.
That
And
sounds
then,
exciting.
Apple cider donuts. I mean, we only do those seasonally. You got to get a donut.
Okay.
The best. And pulled pork nachos.
Oh,
Yeah. We
That
just started
sounds-
that last year.
that
It's so
sounds
yummy.
incredible. Especially on a nice, cool fall evening or afternoon. That sounds good. What is your go-to coffee order? I know you have the new one right now, but what's your other one that's officially on the menu?
Yeah, the staple is the 1844 when Tipton was founded. That's what it's named after.
Yeah.
And just maple and vanilla. That's such a strong, good like flavor profile. It's our number one selling coffee. Love that coffee.
Yeah. Awesome. And then the last one here, if you could have coffee with any Tipton resident, past or present, who would it be?
Oh my goodness, that's a hard one. That's like really being put on the spot.
Just the easy
Okay.
one. Just say your husband. No, I'm just kidding.
Jacob. I would love to have coffee with Jacob. Okay, I think that I would want to sit down. You know who I need to sit down and have coffee with is Holly Horton. I've never, Holly, hit me up. I've never actually had a one-on-one conversation with her, but I just love everything that they're doing at Horton's. And I was listening to her podcast before coming on to here, and I'm like, I need to sit down with her and I just need to build that connection that we've been talking about throughout all of this.
Absolutely.
And learn more about what they're doing and how can I support them. I mean, they do the Tipton map and all of these things, and I just love it. I love everything that family's doing.
Awesome. Well, let's wrap up by giving one last plug. The Pumpkin Patch is opening soon. So if you want to do a final plug on opening dates and what people can expect.
Yes, come on out to the Pumpkin Patch. We are open the last Saturday in September. So I believe that's September 27th. We open at 11 a.m. and we will be open until the last weekend, really, in October. So it's a Sunday. I believe it's October 25th. We have over 25 different activities, a corn maze. We have pick your own pumpkins, or you can just come out and buy pumpkins. And we look forward to having you on our family farm.
Awesome. Well, Amanda, thank you so much for joining us today and talking all things business. It's been very enlightening, and I've really enjoyed speaking with you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.